Hello, conscious co-creators, and welcome to your SWAN spirit animal pick a card reading for today. We are going to be getting messages for you from the SWAN spirit animal. We're going to be looking at where you currently are now, what may be challenging you, what spirit has to say, what's grounding you, what's gone on in your past, and what's coming up for you in the future. So as you can see, I do have your 3 SWAN card options laid out for you here for you to choose from. Option number 1, option number 2, and option number 3. So you can take a look and you can pause the video if you need some more time selecting. And once you have made your intuitive SWAN selection, you can head down to the description and click on the timestamp next to the card that you've chosen. And I will see you in your SWAN spirit animal reading. Hello Group 1 and welcome to your SWAN spirit animal reading today. If you're listening to this, you've chosen the first card option here. SWAN Spirit, time for a deep dive. This is card number 60. So this is a 6 energy, which is definitely going to bring in the energy of harmony and balance. We're moving along in a way that feels actually really graceful. The depiction of the card itself really gives me this connection to spirit vibe, and we've got these beautiful flowers almost blocking, if you will, or covering the work that's being done by the swan's feet, right? Paddling. Interesting sort of depiction that we're working with here, especially with time for a deep dive. I almost feel like there's this blooming and blossoming energy that's coming in for you as a result of taking a deep dive into something, taking a deeper look perhaps into something in your life right now. And because the flowers are kind of shielding us from the work that the swan is doing, it just feels like there may be some work that you're going to be doing that is in alignment for you right now that you'll be able to do with, again, grace and elegance, and growth is apparent here for you. All right, so let's get into it. Let's take a look at what the swan wants to tell you about. First, your core energy, your current experience. We're just going to be using the beginning of a Celtic cross to get this information and guidance for you today. So core energy, please, for group number 1. Yeah. Okay. The 5 of Wands. The 5 of Wands energy is a really cool energy, actually. It is this resetting when it's in its high expression. It's this feeling of preparing you for something bigger, to shine your light. This is the suit of fire. And in this particular depiction, you can see that all of the wands are coming together almost to ignite something beautiful. So there may be something changing in your life as a result of taking a better look or setting something up for yourself. When you get this card in a low expression, you really need to look out for comparing yourself to others, being in a competitive mode that could be, oh, they're saying the word dysfunctional. Interesting. Dysfunctional, I guess. It's when that fire comes together, especially with others, and you start comparing yourself to others. You're in the egoic kind of competition vibe that doesn't feel good. You're like chasing after something that is connected to maybe not the greatest of intentions. You may be fighting or trying to fight with someone, burning yourself out, that kind of vibe. We want to stay away from that when you have this in the high expression or an upright position in your core energy. It's the swan spirit animal coming in to tell you that whatever it is that you're looking into, or the work that you're doing right now, the changes that you're observing happening to your spirit, because again, fire is all about your true soul self, your true spirit self. Whatever those changes that seem to be arising or erupting, they're saying that word erupting within you, This is a resetting of your spirit. It's changes that need to be made in order to prepare you to move to a position of being in your true fire, or being recognized for your authentic self and your authentic light. So this is change happening in your core. And as I said, the depiction of your swan card really feels like a growth and a blooming and a blossoming, and almost the feeling of this being sparked within you, you being willing to make these changes and to recognize them and to set yourself up for something like beautiful, to set yourself up to shine even brighter, and doing it in a really elegant, beautiful kind of way. Let's see what might be challenging you. The Three of Wands. Okay. Okay, so very clearly there are markers with the way this is depicted. These three crystals representing the wands. Yeah, Spirit is saying like very specific markers have to be hit here. So the challenge with the Three of Wands will always be making sure that you are in alignment and trusting what it is that you're being called to, being open to making plans that feel like they are authentic to you, or something that you have a passion about or are inspired to do. So if you're like preparing to do something just because your brain is telling you this is what you should do, or this is what's next for you, you have to do this next, you should, you have to, these kinds of phrases, that's why you've got this swan spirit, if you've chosen this group, telling you you got to dive deep to make sure that you are connected to your authentic spirit, your authentic fire within. Because you may just go, I want to hit this marker and this marker and this marker, right? With these three wands on this path, and then I can be done, and then I can be moving on, and then I will shine. And I feel this, egoic type of influence is present. So you want to really watch out for that. The ego is helpful. We all have the ego. It can be helpful. However, if it overtakes you and creates this challenge where you're pushing forward on a path that doesn't really feel aligned for you just to hit the markers in order to achieve something that maybe your spirit and soul doesn't really want truly, or doesn't really want to go after, you may start to prepare for the wrong thing. Or as we mentioned, you may be like comparing yourself to others. I need to hit this, they did this, so I need to hit this, and I need to hit that, and I need to hit that, and if I do that, then I'm gonna have the success that I want. It's fine to be influenced by others in a positive way, or to take, someone else's expertise, their wisdom, and take it in and make it your own. But that's the key, is to make it your own. So if you're taking some inspiration from someone else, the deep dive is to be able to present it in a way that is authentic to you, to put your own spin on it, to prep it or set it to represent you, is how they're saying it. So to have a Three of Wands, this is really about looking at your options, looking at your future path, and starting to make some plans, starting to discover the path ahead, maybe making some choices to try something new out. But you can't rush the markers. So swimming along gracefully, staying connected, allowing yourself to tap into what's really truly inspiring you, and then connecting it to how you want to use it, how you'd like to put it out into the world, what you're going to do with it, is going to be extremely important, especially with a 6 vibe. Like, we don't want to be in an extreme energy here. We want to be moseying along this path, hitting these divine markers in alignment with the divine orchestration of things and your true spirit. Not trying to push to hit markers just because your mind tells you that's what you're supposed to do. But what Spirit is saying with this as a challenge position is, you may want to be at the end of the path. There are markers that are going to need to be hit. Oftentimes with Spirit, markers, divine markers, we don't really know exactly either when they're coming, what they are, until we hit them, and then something opens up for us. And then okay, I must have hit a point in the path that is aligned so that I can now move to the next thing or focus on the next thing. So this is about preparing in a way that feels authentic to your spirit, and not necessarily taking someone's exact roadmap and using it as your own. you may have influences coming in, but I just feel like there's something about your own spin on it and a dive in to go like, what does this mean to me? And then what can I create from this? Or what do I want to set up as a result of understanding this information that has now come in? So it feels like some sort of wisdom or expert or someone who's done it before in their own way. Maybe they've achieved the kind of success that you want or that you're going for. And you're learning from them, you're observing them, and that's amazing, but not being in competition with them, right? You're not meant to compare yourself to them. You're meant to take the wisdom and then understand how you personally and uniquely are meant to use it, and then trust that as you're moving forward, you're trusting that spirit to hit those markers in the exact right time. Let's see what else we have here. What's above group one here? Above group one. The Seven of Stars. Okay, Seven of Pentacles. You can see this branching out, this growth happening, things growing. The Seven of Pentacles is a card of experience. It's a card of, you know, really diligently showing up and doing the work. It's a card that tells me that you've got to be a bit patient. Spirit is asking patience of you here to dive in and to see how it is that things are meant to be set up for you. There's also, they're saying, a trust that needs to happen for you, group one, where you know through your experience that this combination of energy and you showing up day after day to work on it, to set it up, to trust the timing of it, to plan in a certain way, to, it's like rearrange almost the right things, put them in the right places. This is a card of growth through experience. It does require, as I said, this day after day kind of patience where you keep showing up, and this is how you're able to bloom and blossom. So again, we are seeing the bloom and blossom, and the work is being done underneath the surface. So Spirit's like, show up in alignment with your goals and your dreams that you are setting up, and make sure that they feel aligned every single day, and use your experience to keep going. Something beautiful is going to blossom from this for you, for sure. You will be able to reap what you have sown here eventually. But for now, they need you to really just show up here. Show up for this. Show up for you. Show up for your dream. Yeah, that's what it feels like, showing up authentically, as opposed to, I really like the way this person does it, so I'm going to become them, right? That's what I'm feeling. The difference is I really like the way this person does it, so I am going to take that wisdom and ask myself how I can use this with my energy to put something different out into the world that is unique to me, and then you work on it. That's what Spirit is saying there. Work on it through your experience. Work. Let's see what we have here below you. Oh, and the assistance is here, of course. Look at that. The Chariot card. Lovely. This is forward movement towards success. So they're indicating that you showing up for this and your diligent work toward it, remembering the kind of experience you have with yourself, and to trust yourself and to trust the divine timing and to trust the path and to do these dives when you need to do these dives and to continue to show up, trusting that something's going to blossom from this. And then with the Chariot down below, you're really co-creating with Spirit to move things forward as well. So you're listening here, you're moving the needle, you're setting things up. It's wonderful energy. This is forward momentum towards success or toward your goal. It really feels like this group is prepping to be in the spotlight of some sort or bring something to fruition for right now. And this one energy is elegance in doing so. It's this feeling of like, I'm holding my head up high while I'm doing the work, and I'm gorgeous while I'm doing it. You know, it's that feeling. And a Chariot, as I said, is representative of you and Spirit both working together to move things in the right direction. So you're moving that Chariot together. If you start going off the path and you're in competition with someone else and your whole focus is to become them, or you've got this like egoic energy guiding you, the Chariot will split, right? Because you're not listening to the divine anymore. You're going this way and Spirit's going this way, and then the Chariot stops moving. This is your grounding energy. You will move forward. You will create the success that you're looking for. You will see the momentum being gained. here by continuing to show up and continuing to be beautifully connected. Something is being rearranged in your energy and in your life, and it feels really positive. We just don't want to get lost in the fire that can burn you later, right? So they're giving you all the perfect elements to be able to help you ignite that fire within you and move things forward and feel really beautiful doing it. Okay, let's see what's behind you here. Some more information. The Five of Swords. So a change of mind has happened, some kind of insight, literally. Maybe it's like one particular piece of information or piece of knowledge came in, or a new idea changed your mind. Also, yeah, that's right. This looks like we are fighting against Four Swords, if we want to look at it that way. The Five of Swords in a low expression, often what comes through when you get a Five of Swords is, a conflicting mental state, or communication friction, communication conflict. So, verbal communication. So you're fighting with other people, you're arguing with them, maybe you're having disagreements, you're not seeing eye to eye. What you're saying, they're not getting. What they're saying, you're not getting. It's not working. This also may be, in your own head. You've got all of these thoughts going on. What should I do? How should I move forward? What should I put my energy into? Where am I being led? How can I, find the answer that I'm looking for, the answer that I need? So you've got 2 5s lined up here now. Lots of change coming in. But we know it's meant to balance you out wonderfully. So that's good. It's just here you may have already started the deep dive, because the high expression of this card is about coming to resolving that state of conflict in your mind and coming to a conclusion that is in alignment with clarity, truth, insight. And because we've got this one sword in hand, it just feels like some of you may have already kind of had that bing, that aha moment, that light bulb moment, that insight that came in that said, this is how I need to think about it now. And that sets you up for, okay, I'm ready to shift and change my energy, reset things in my life. I'm open to preparing for something wonderful or beautiful, doing the work to do that, to move that forward. I know that I may have a path in front of me that sees me, needing to show up and do the work, hitting some markers, getting there step by step, but I'm willing to do that. It's this shift in your mind, hopefully, that has happened, where you come out of the mental conflict. You're not willing to argue about it anymore. You're getting the clarity that you need, and you're having that shift in your mind, which then ignites a shift in your energetic center, or your fire, right? Your spirit. So we have a shift of mind igniting the shift of spirit, which is really cool, right? That's very cool. This is like pondering over it, thinking about it, really being able to dive into it and resetting here. Nice. Okay, let's see what's ahead with all of this change. Ooh, the Two of Stars. Okay. They're kicking you right into a balanced energy. This is nice because first and foremost, what I'm seeing with this depiction is a giving and receiving that is equal, right? So if you've been feeling like you are in conflict with other people, or you're not getting your point across, the communication doesn't feel right. Maybe you've been feeling like someone's not listening to you. They're not understanding where you're at. They're not getting what you're trying to say, or they haven't been putting in the same amount of work or effort or whatever, that you've been putting in. Like, it's not balanced. This tells me that you're not going to be accepting that probably anymore here in the future. Once you've shifted your mind about it, you're shifting your energy, and this says, no, we're working from a more balanced and harmonious state in the future as it concerns our relationships. So your relationships are going to have some more balance, and that may be because you're not willing to put up with certain things anymore, that you're setting beautiful boundaries for yourself. The Two of Stars is a card that expresses the idea of physical harmony, right? Being able to juggle things without being in an extreme energy. So whatever it is that you're setting up here is creating balance in your life, And that may be the sounding board or the jumping off point for you to feel like, now I can really shine my light. But first, we're making a pit stop here. So more balanced relationships, definitely balanced decision making. So if you are feeling erratic, all up in your head, not knowing what to do, as a result of you leaning into following what the changes that are happening, right? Listening to your spirit and going, you know what, I'm going to try this in a different way. I'm going to show up for this. I'm going to be led by this in a different way. I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to prepare now in a different way. I'm going to make that change and listen to how my spirit and soul wants to move or how it's shifting. You may even be employing the help of others with the Five of Wands that ignite your spirit or that help you to set yourself up or that help you to prepare. And these relationships will be wonderfully reciprocal for you. And again, Two of Stars or Two of Pentacles, you're making really grounded decisions. These decisions are not putting you in this state of conflict anymore. You're coming into a balanced state as a result of the shifting energy that's been happening, and Spirit is in full support. You've got this movement going on beneath you, almost whether you like it or not. It's movement, it's momentum. Spirit wants to help you move forward. This is you guys co-creating together in a foundational energy to move you into a more balanced and stable place where you feel like, I got this. I got this. You may even start to see, because of the reciprocity, like what you've given or the time you've put into things here, come back in the future. Maybe, you're putting your effort into a new relationship or a new project, working with people, or like a home thing, and then you start to see the physical benefit of it. You see the balance of it. You get some of your time back because these people are taking on their share of the work. You get to have a more relaxing environment because you've created it, you showed up for it, and you moved it forward. Whatever it is that is shifting or your spirit is guiding you to put some work into, Spirit is totally, on board, moving you forward. And again, head held high, totally connected, this elegance energy as you're paddling forward, allowing for these changes to happen, totally connected to your authentic nature and what you truly desire for yourself, and then putting you into a really beautiful, balanced state where you feel like, again, they're just saying, I got this. Let's see what we have for final messages for you, Group 1. 30. It's a 32-5. Quieting the mind. Okay, if you still feel stuck in this energy, the swords in the air is all about your mental state, your divine connection, the way that you communicate, air energy, insight, clarity. So this is just another added final message from your swan spirit animal that says, we need to dive into our soul. We need to quiet our mind. Whatever this conflict is needs to be, look at that. Look at your spirit. Reconnected. Look at that. You can see the ignition happening. It doesn't take place in the mind. The mind isn't going to serve you, group number 1. The change is happening by quieting the mind, by releasing this conflict. You're getting the insight in order to be able to reconnect to your fire and then make changes as a result that are harmonious, balanced. They just said more relaxed. I like that. More relaxed energy. It just feels like not paying so much attention to the ego and the mind moves you forward in a different kind of way. You make these changes and you realize these changes need to be made because you're not listening to your mind anymore, literally. And I guess your swan spirit animal really wanted to make that clear. We're diving into the soul. We're leaving the mind where it is. You don't even have to try to change your mind at first if that doesn't feel possible, but just letting it be whatever it is and focusing your attention within yourself to your fire, to your spirit, doing that deep dive, moving forward, and then showing up for your spirit, for your divinity. And then, once you feel like you're in a more balanced state, that mind will be able to be useful to you. You'll gain the wisdom and you'll be able to use the intellect eventually and combo it so that it keeps moving you forward and it allows you to, as I said, shine more brightly. But for now, they're telling you, come back within yourself, do that deep dive, keep your head held high. You see the positioning and the posture even. We're not bent over. We are completely connected, returning to our true fire, our true heart, and connecting to spirit in order to leave the worries and the stresses and the complications and conflicts of our mind behind, in order to tap into what our true spirit wants and follow that without the influence so much of the ego. So again, if you're being inspired by other people, that's wonderful, but we have to pull it back in to be able to understand how to use it, what to show up for, what we're moving forward. to create this "you got this" kind of energy. So I hope that this serves you, Group 1, and your swan spirit animal has given you and provided you with some insight that is helpful. It was my absolute pleasure to read for you today. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a like. You can share it with others who you think might enjoy choosing their swan spirit animal messages. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for me. And if you're interested in learning more about your spirit animal guides, I have a spirit animals handbook down below listed in the description for you if you want to check that out. Again, it was my absolute pleasure doing this reading for you, and I hope that this serves you. I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, Group 2, and welcome to your swan spirit animal reading for today. If you're listening to this, you've chosen the second swan card for your reading, and we have a beautiful reflection energy happening in this card. There isn't any, specific wording here. It's just this mirror image of the swan kind of floating along here. So I suspect we're probably going to be getting a look at some perhaps personal reflection energy coming through the swan moving forward and allowing this inner look, perhaps. You may also be literally looking at your reflection, and the swan may have something to say about, the wording you use, the thoughts that come to mind. Yes, thank you. As you view your reflection, right? You may be reflecting on your past, something coming up where you're needing to move forward, and as you do, the reflection's really going to serve you as you do that, taking the points of wisdom that you've gained from the past, perhaps, and floating forward with them. But let's get more information, of course. So we're going to take a look at your core energy here first. The Page of Stars. This is the Page of Pentacles, and I mean, this is a crown. Moving forward here, you're receiving from the divine through the crown here. Wow. I really like the depiction of this card. I'm not sure I've ever even seen this one here. I mean, I've seen it, but the energy feels so enlightened. A page energy is the start of a new chapter for you, and stars are pentacles in this deck, so we're looking at a new chapter on the physical plane. It really feels like, yeah, you're moving forward, and I feel that the divine is really needing for you to listen for your next steps, to listen for the next move as you're gliding. So it's almost like your direction. A page energy is a young energy. It tells us that we want to be curious about where it is that we're headed and what it is that we want to perhaps take with us based on reflecting on our past experiences, how we can use the wisdom moving forward along with the alignment of whatever we're hearing, seeing, feeling, insights that we're getting about what it is that we are meant to do next. Also, this just feels regal. There's some regal energy connected to it. Like the swan looks regal. We've got a crown. Holding your head high despite, like looking in the mirror and saying only positive things to yourself at all times, not putting yourself down no matter what it is that you've experienced or what choices you have made. This is a new chapter here that you are beginning, and yeah, it's like adjust your crown and get ready. Let's see what might be challenging this energy. What's challenging this energy for my Group 2s, please? What do we need to know here? The Knight of Wands. This is the fastest moving knight. Getting an insight, wanting to move really quickly. Move really quickly. I feel passionate about this. I want to go. I got to move. Well, this card in a low expression will definitely point to getting fired up about something, right? Getting really upset about something, getting really angry. Or in this case, this is like fastest moving energy with fire, slowest moving energy with earth. So this would be impulsivity that you need to look out for, doing things really quickly and then going, oh my God, why did I do that? What was I thinking? Oh wait, I wasn't thinking. I wasn't taking a moment to reflect. You may need to reflect on your choices even. So you may have like a bout of inspiration that just pops up, or you may have this stirring within you that comes up. What they're telling you to do here is to just be curious about it. Stop and take a second, and go, I wonder what this means, as opposed to, I got to do this right now. Let's get on it. Let's go. Because if you get a Knight of Wands guiding you with a Page of Stars in your core, or a Page of Pentacles in your core, you might find yourself all mixed up. Not knowing what direction you went in because you just were so impulsive about it, or it's the feeling of somebody, this is what they're showing. They're showing like a table or a room even with like one project over here that started, and then we just left it because we got an impulse to do something else. So then we started this one over here, and then we didn't finish that, and then we started baking this, and we started doing that, and we were ripping things over for like several different projects happening at one time, all of them unfinished. So I feel like we need to be very aware of that energy in this group, to take a slow glide forward, reflecting all along the way. It does not feel, it's measured, it's rhythmic. How I was just talking, all along the way. That energy compared to, oh my gosh, look at this, I gotta do this, this uppity energy, noticing the difference is gonna be very important for you, group 2. The Swan wants you to glide and reflect and go, is this the right move for me? I'm really curious about what I could learn about this, or how this might improve my life, or, if this is something that I even want to pursue, so I'll dip my toe into it. I'll try this. You're open to trying things, you're open to exploring, but you're in no rush, right? If you start to feel this rushed energy, that's exactly when you're needing to pull back with this kind of challenge in place. The Knight of Wands just lives off his fire, and he goes, which isn't necessarily a negative thing, right? But in this position with this kind of energy, it's like a smooth glide. A smooth glide, head held high, crown on, no need to rush. It's the feeling of nothing is going to pass you by. It's happening exactly at the right speed, at the right time. You can sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Be curious about it. Trying new things. You don't need to hop on it because you're not afraid that something is not going to be available for you anymore. You can lean into the perfect timing of it always happening. Love that. Let's see what's going on above you. Messages from above, please. For group 2, thank you. The 10 of Wands. You can see these crystals are like embedded in these hands. Okay, the 10 of Wands energy is definitely the closure. It's definitely burdensome energy usually. Exhaustion can come when you get a 10 of Wands. Spirit is like, we want this to be done now. We don't want the burden anymore to be placed upon your shoulders or in your hands. Thank you. The burden is no longer wanting to be in your hands. For lack of a better way to say that. It's like they want to take the burden from you, but you have to be able to want to walk away. 10 of Wands, look at that. 10 of Wands energy, 10 of fire. It's like burnout. Page of Stars. The 10 precedes the page, right? In every one of the minor arcana suits. The 10 is the closure. The page is the new beginning. So here, Spirit and this beautiful swan spirit animal is wanting to take the burden from you. And so that you can close out any kind of chapter that may have felt exhausting. Plainly stated, that's what they just said. Plainly stated, exhausting, overbearing, too overcomplicated. You're just running on empty. Spirit is saying this is no longer in alignment for you at all. We need you to lift and shift. That's how they're saying it, lift and shift. This is like putting your hands out with these crystals and saying, take them from me. I no longer want the burden, and thank you very much. The swan wants you to glide. Imagine the swan with the crystals. We're sinking here now, we're sinking, or we can't fly in the same way, right? Like it's just too heavy. So there's this sense of an ending happening and you being patient with yourself as you readjust your crown and allow yourself to slow it down. This may be that you were just going too fast all the time, taking on too much, overdoing things, and just burdened, exhausted, etc., burnt out. And that's why this is the challenge here, right? We do not want to keep doing that, jumping on every little thing, and because the energy around it feels exhausting. Just earlier when I was talking, like that, super fast, compared to steadily moving forward, gliding across the water with our head held high, looking forward, crown on, receiving from spirit the next steps in the right direction. That feels much better than, I gotta go right now, oh my God, what if I don't do this? And so there's a release happening, which I love. I wanna see what's grounding you here. This? No, they're saying it's this one. Thank you. King of Moons, this is the King of Hearts, the King of Cups. And exhale. Okay, love it. This is emotional stability. The King of Cups is the master of his emotions. He is able to flow with his emotions without getting caught up in like making emotional decisions when he feels like he may need some compassion or a break or some empathy. He, of course, keeps his head held high, and he doesn't, they're saying he doesn't apologize. He doesn't apologize for his feelings. Interesting. So he's not apologizing for his feelings. He's also not making decisions for himself and his life, or perhaps for others, when he's in an emotional influx. This card, grounding you, tells me that you have every ability. This is the master of the suit, leader of the suit of cups. You have every ability to get yourself into a state where you feel honored by feeling. That's nice, okay? That's how they're saying it. Honored by your feelings. You're allowing yourself to feel. You're allowing yourself to reflect. You're digging into that space in your heart that maybe had to be put aside with all this overdoing and impulsivity, kind of needing to go. Instead, we're taking a moment and digging into the heart center and kind of allowing yourself to go, what does my heart have to say about this? And how do I really feel about this? It almost feels like the King of Cups in below here is helping you to process some of perhaps why it is that you were getting to a space where you're overburdened, why it is that you got to a space where you're burnt out or you're carrying something that was heavy. He's helping you reflect, right? Like we're seeing the reflection in the water. So I love this. This tells us that you're going to be the master of your own emotions, that you're going to be able to sift through the waves, allow yourself to feel, have the utmost compassion for yourself, and move forward from a balanced state of emotion to make these beautiful decisions. I love it. Another crown indicated, which I like. I feel like the crown is an indicator for this group. I'm just going to say that out loud because they keep showing it, and it just feels like if you see a crown, that's about this energy. That's about this reading. That's the swan, coming through for you. Let's see what's behind you here. Look at this group, man. I feel like you guys have been going after it and, doing your best to keep going, keep up, persevere, let's go. A 9 of Wands, obviously, precedes the 10 of Wands energy. So maybe you have been just working on something, waiting to get to the end of it. When is this going to be over? Are we almost there yet? Like, I know I'm on the right path, but man, this is getting exhausting. This card says, keep going. You're almost there. You're almost at the place where you can release. And then we're seeing the literal spirit saying, hand it over now. It's fine. You can hand it over. You don't have to carry that in the same way anymore. You've done enough. You've done enough work on this. You've done enough laboring. Thank you over this. Time to glide now. Time to reflect on the experience of the laboring, of the, it just feels heavy and go, go, go of that energy, because presently we're moving into almost the opposite energy, totally different energy, where we're getting our emotions back in check. We're feeling beautifully calm, even serene sometimes. And then there's an influx of emotion, and we look at ourselves in the mirror and go, it's okay. You can feel. It's okay that you're feeling. Let's process this together. Let's have some like love and compassion for yourself as you're doing that. Okay, you've just been through quite a bit of a stirring here where your energy was needed. And now we're in a release where there's a new chapter that says we're not going to be like working from that kind of fire anymore. Now we're going to get grounded. We're going to get balanced in our emotions, and let's see where that leads. I kind of want to give you props, like pat on the back. 9 of Wands is like, you keep going when you want to quit, or, you know, you've been carrying a lot. It just feels like you've been carrying a lot, doing a lot. And now I hope that you will allow the Swan to guide you appropriately, and realizing that it's time to let some of those burdens go, that you've made it to a place where it is being released. There's a different type of chapter, a different type of energy that wants to come in now, and a very clear warning about continuing with that kind of fire kind of guiding you. Yeah, okay. And I think you have to process a bit about why it is that we were in that to begin with. Like how you got into this go, go, go kind of energy. Especially if it pops up, right? Like if it pops up and you're like, oh my God, this would be such a good idea. Oh my gosh, this person needs me to do this, and it's the same day as this. And I feel like when that happens now, that is a point of reflection immediately. It should throw up this flag for you that says, wait a minute, this is what I meant to be handing over and closing out. Let me take a moment for myself to actually feel about it, because if I make a decision from this kind of emotional state, I don't feel grounded anymore. I don't feel balanced. I need a moment. This is about regrounding yourself. This is what's below you. So we're not supposed to overlook the emotions around it at all anymore. Let's see what we have ahead. Oh my gosh, this group, 10 of Swords. Here's where you are. You can see that, hopefully. That figure right there. That's you. And so the precipice is near. The end is near. The 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands are the difficult 10s in the tarot. So this is like telling us that, whether this group, whether you like it or not, group 2, this is coming to a close. It's already ending. It's already over. The hardship, the burdensome energy, the overbearing energy, the exhaustion energy, the overthinking energy, the painful energy, the difficult energy. Okay, you see all these swords? We've passed them all now. And you're just about to go. It's almost like this figure has the crystals in their hand. They're going to make it to the precipice and hand it over. Glide on down the other side. Yeah, thank you, Spirit. Glide on down the other side. They're saying, come on in, the water's fine. Or the water's fine. Come on in, the water's nice? No, the water's fine, they're saying. It's almost like a relief. You've been walking uphill, and now we're going to be moving downhill. This is another indication of a difficult time closing. It's over. It's over. You've done a great job at, trucking up this hill, trucking up this mountain, and now we're regrounding, feeling, allowing, gliding, reflecting, loving yourself, giving yourself the understanding you need, the compassion you need, and handing it over here, right, in the future. It's just, you're walking into the closure of it. The pain is done. The burdensome energy is done. It's over. You made it, is what I want to say. You made it. I would say in this moment, group 2, it's going to be important for you to recognize that new, fresh chapter is already happening, right? And so these 2 cards in their positioning, the way that they're positioned, I feel like this closure may be, it might take a minute for you to feel like it's actually over, right? Like you may need to process, but lovely to have the King in the rooted energy for you there. It's a perfect King to be able to process your emotions around it. Again, like Why was I carrying this burden like this? What happened? What happened? What were all these swords? What were all these events? What were all these experiences? What went on to make this really, really difficult? And then just allowing yourself to think on it, to ask about your next move, to be open to that, and not to be so impulsive without processing. It just feels like, right? Like this King of Moons is like, you're taken care of. It's okay. You can ground yourself. You can process now. It's okay for you to feel into this. When before, it doesn't feel like there was much time for emotional processing. I'll say that. It doesn't feel like there was time for anything, maybe. Anything that had to do with you or taking it a little bit easier. But you can see up ahead, you're walking right into the top. Done. Over. So open up your heart, open up your mind, let your hands like up to spirit and say, I'm ready for this to be relieved. Thank you for helping me through this. I want to glide now smoothly, steadily in a different direction, right? I don't need to be climbing in this way anymore. I'm going to take it easy, take it slow. I'm going to allow myself to, emotionally acknowledge and process what I've been going through. And it just feels like taking it easy without feeling like ashamed of it, ashamed of what you've been going through. Like, again, with the crown being the indicator, there's no shame or even if shame or guilt comes up, I would say, remember that you're wearing the crown. There's nothing wrong with you, what you've gone through. It's probably like life. And sometimes there are difficult, challenging times where the burden feels very heavy and you keep going and you stay strong, and then you reach the precipice, you reach a new chapter energy, and it's time to hand that over, but it's not like the snap of a finger, so you do have to emotionally process it, to reflect upon it, to take the pieces from what you've been through and use them hopefully to guide you in the future, or to feel into the different elements of your experience. It's important, but it doesn't mean that you're cowering over like something's wrong with you or you should be ashamed of yourself. Your head is still held high with a crown. Boop. I wish there was a crown on that. I just almost want to put a crown on that swan. With your crown and moving forward, gliding forward, downhill now, without the burden, downhill without the burden. Let's see what we have for final message for you, group 2. Great big love. Yeah, I love this energy. This is so supportive. Yes, 26-8. You're in alignment with yourself. There's different kind of manifestation going on. Great big love. This is the feeling of being completely unconditionally loved no matter what. That's the feeling that I was getting of like, this is life. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You have nothing to be, trying to make excuses for or what have you. You have been surrounded by unconditional love through the journey, through the difficult journey, through the burdensome journey, and you still are as you, hand it over. Also, feeling the burden be given to the divine and transmuted into love, learning from the experience, etc. And I feel like attracting in. It's just going to start manifesting into your life, this loving energy, when before it might have felt really hard to get into that alignment, like it took a lot of work. Now it's just floating in because it's, again, downhill. There's a relief that is happening. Great big love. You could describe the King of Cups that way, the King of Love, the King of Hearts, right? So be open to that love coming in to kind of move you forward. Gliding with love, right? Fine, thank you. Gliding with love, with a crown full of love. Okay. I hope that this serves you, group 2. I hope that you know that, all of the work and the effort that you've been putting in is going to pay off, or it is worth it. And now this is a time of healing, reconnection, a time of great big love where you can glide more easily, that there's not all of this current flowing in the other direction. Like you're not swimming against the current. Instead, you're gliding with the current now. Hand it over. I know it might take a little bit of time to get used to a different kind of energy, but it's there for you if you want to accept it, and I hope that you will. I hope that this serves you. It was my pleasure to read for you today. If something resonated with you in this reading, please give this video a like. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you know someone else that may want to choose their swan spirit animal message, please share this with them so that they can receive the guidance that they need. If you're interested in learning more about spirit animals, I do have a spirit animal handbook linked down below in the description if you're called to that. And again, it was my pleasure to read for this group. I'm so happy to see that you are just about there and ready to completely release this hardship and step into a brand new, beautiful chapter full of love and spirit. I hope this serves you, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, Group 3, and welcome to your Swan Spirit Animal reading today. If you're listening to this, you've chosen the third card for your Swan messages and reading. This has the indicator word grace on it, which I love so much. There's also a pair of swans on this particular card, so we'll take that into consideration for sure. It says, "You who glides across the waters of my soul, bring me your wisdom and light. Help me transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty." So this sounds a bit like a prayer to the swan, which I love. Okay. I'm on board. A prayer to the swan. Definitely moving forward with grace and beauty. And I feel a relationship connection of some sort happening just because they keep indicating that there are two. There are two swans there. Wisdom and light. Yeah, this is a prayer to the swan spirit animal. This one? No. Okay, I'm just pulling a card for the close of your reading. Okay, thank you. From the swan for you. If you feel called to write all or any part of this down, it may be helpful for you to say it because it feels like, yeah, a prayer, an invocation. It has this energy of we're talking directly to the swan spirit animal and asking directly. And maybe there's not just one swan. Like if you see a pair of swans somewhere that shows up, there's something about the pair, but let's get more information. First, we're going to look at core energy. Ooh, this? Yeah, they want this card. The 8 of Moons. Okay. Look at the directional indication here, like the sign postage. Which way will you choose is what they're saying. Which direction will you choose? Okay. The 8 of Moons is the 8 of Cups in this deck. And the 8 of Cups is indicative of a new adventure, first and foremost. I just want to say that because 8s are manifestation cards. They're cards that ask us to step into our full authentic selves and manifest accordingly. So in this case, this is an emotional energy that says, I've had enough of what's been going on here and it's not serving me emotionally anymore, and I need to survey my options in order to be able to choose to walk away from what's not working and head on a new adventure to what is. Float or swim, fine. To glide to a new adventure, to float or swim to a new adventure. Glide across the waters of your soul to a new adventure. So when you get an 8 of Cups in your core energy, this tells me that there's something that's probably disturbing your emotional body that's maybe not working so well. And maybe that is why we've got it in prayer form with this swan card. It's like, give me the grace that I need. Help me transform into grace and elegance, or transform with grace and elegance, or take this new path and walk away from that which is not serving my heart anymore with grace and elegance. So whatever it is that's going on in your emotional body that's making your heart feel sad, or if there's something that's happening for you, Group 3, where you feel like you deserve more, or you feel like someone's not acknowledging, you know, your true heart or your true self, or they don't appreciate you. These are the places I would look right? Something that's just not working. It's making you feel down. It's making you feel down and out. It's making you feel sad. It's making you feel hopeless, this kind of thing. Could be in any area of life, could be to do with, with your work. It could be, again, it has to do with a relationship, I think. So is there someone in your life, is what I would ask, that maybe, when you spend time around there, you're just like, oh, I kind of want to get out of here, or I'd like to go in a different direction, or I want to move the relationship in a different direction. Let's see what's challenging you from walking away. Whoa, these are all indicators, aren't they? They're all here. Yeah, this one. Okay, this one. Oh, there's two there. Does this go? Oh, wow, they're giving us like almost all the cards here. They are giving us all the cards. So I'm just good. This hasn't happened yet with these pulls. So one. They're saying in order. Okay, so I'm going to keep them laid out so I don't mess up the order. Let's just put them on top of each other appropriately, these two like this. Wow, that hasn't happened yet, group 3, so bear with. All right, we're going to look at a challenge energy. Yeah, they've given us all the rest of the cards for this spread. So we'll look at a challenge energy first. The Ace of Wands. This is the inspiring new path, wanting to trust your inspiration. Maybe you're like, you could be in a job where you're like, oh my God, this is the same old, same old. I don't feel inspired at all. I don't get to work on the things that make me feel, this spark in my spirit. This isn't my passion. This isn't what I want to create in the world. You may be feeling that. With this as a challenge energy, it's like something's pulling you, but you have to have the power within yourself, the courage within yourself to walk away from the thing that's not working so that you can walk into the thing that is. So this is a bit of a tricky kind of layover energy, right? When you have an Ace of Wands, you kind of, in a reverse position, you may feel like you're just following the fire kind of aimlessly. That, or you're really scared to, let that fire, like follow the fire. It's one or the other. You're either doing it aimlessly and impulsively, or just because you don't like what it is. So you're jumping from this to that, to this, to that, to this. And it can feel, erratic. Or you're so scared to follow it that you just stay where you are, even if it kind of sucks. Even if it's like, this isn't really what I want, but I'm too afraid to do what I truly want to do or start what I really truly do want to start. I would say here, at the very least, as you're praying for your swan energy, to your swan spirit animal, give me grace in this time where I can explore my own power within, my own inspiration within, my own passion within, what's sparking within me. Give me the idea that can help me understand what is inspiring me at this time. And instead of feeling like, oh, well, once I know what it is, then I have to go and do it, giving yourself grace during this period. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. So it's not like you're moving forward out of integrity. You're doing it in integrity, right? You're doing it with dignity. Grace, beauty. It's like giving someone your 2 weeks notice or your month notice or whatever, as opposed to just being like, I'm out, bye, today's my last day. That's the difference, okay? Feel like something is sparking within you, and you're just meant to pay attention to it while you're processing also what's not working, because this seems to be the arrow pointing you in the right direction, right? Let's see what else we have here. So above you, we have the Nine of Swords. Interesting. This is a card of mental worry and stress, and for it to be in an above position is a nice place to have it. That's what I will say. This is spirit kind of saying your worries and fears are going to be relieved. Like, there's no need for you to stress or worry about this anymore. As long as you're showing up for it, which in a Nine of Swords position, this means you've been thinking about this for a while, probably, group 3. And maybe that's what the prayer is for. You've been worrying about this or thinking about it, or it's been bothering you for a while. And now it is time to make the decision. Spirit is completely supporting you in this. As you can see, the swords that may seem like they're going to crush her or, come down on her, it's all this divine glittered energy to help her experience the information and insight that is actually coming from what those worries are inciting. They're trying to point you, in other words, group 3, to what needs to be looked at, what needs to be decided upon, so that you can free yourself, right? So that you can free yourself from this emotional stuff, the emotional turmoil, what's not working, so that you can trust in your own spark, trust perhaps in a new path, and so that you can release the worries that you've got going on in your mind. You may not have been getting very good sleep, you know, it just feels like this has been going on for a bit. Let's see what's grounding you. Oh, yes. So yeah, lovely. They just said, ask and you shall receive. And that's what the prayer is. It's an ask. Bring me your wisdom and light. Oh, well, the Spirit's like, absolutely, here you go. So your swan spirit animal is definitely telling you, you're going to be able to receive the answers you need, the plan, the strategy, whatever it is that you need. With a King of Swords in your below you position, grounding position, what's grounding you, okay? This is the energy, that the foundation that you're working from. Master of the suit of air. This is like, I hold my, I open my channel, or I hold my sword up to the divine, and I get the clarity that I need. The sprinkling happens, and before you know it, she's in this divine truth and clarity. You're seeing things in a different way. The other thing that I think that this is really going to help you with group 3 is the plan, right? How do I actually do this? You know, that's what you want to ask Spirit. That's what's going to help you also stop worrying so much about it. Because if we're just in our head about something and we know that we don't want to do this anymore, we know that we're uncomfortable here, but we don't have any strategy in place or action or plan in place to take action, it becomes just floating in our mind all the time, and that can drive you crazy. That will drive you nuts. And so to have a King of Swords below you, this is your ground, air is grounding you. So it's like, okay, master of the suit, I am leading, my channel is open, show me what the plan is. Let me know the insights and clarity that I need to put this together, to strategize appropriately, and you will know. With a King of Swords, you will know. And then top level communication is connected. So once you have that understanding for yourself, you'll be able to then communicate it with others, perhaps with this other person, or, you know, if you're looking to strategize to leave your job, just because that's an easy example, and take on a new one, you will be communicating with others, your family members, other people who may be offering you other jobs. This communication starts to be part of your foundational energy, much more easy. You're getting the clarity, sprinkling. From the worry, when you ask, comes the insight now, which I think is very different energy than you have been in, which is wonderful. Let's see what we have. This will go here. Let's see what we have behind you. The Two of Wands. Decisions, I just said. It's like weighing your options. What should I do? What should I do? Is there anything else available for me? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Yeah. It just shows that you've been looking at this for a while, like worrying about this for a while. I feel like you've been noticing it for a while, wondering about it, going, what are my options? Like, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I take this path? Right now, I feel like they're waiting on you with this Eight of Moons, this Eight of Cups. Because the decision to shift something always happens within us first. I love that you have this prayer to the swan. I love that we get the indication of twos. This is you may have two options available to you as well. You may be pondering two options, or have been pondering two paths, something different to be inspired by. And you just haven't actually decided, okay, I'm going to go and contact this person. I'm going to go and get the clarity I need to make this move. I'm going to put a plan in place. But that's what's happening now. So all of this pondering may have led you to this place now where Spirit really needs you to decide, I'm done with this. It doesn't mean that you're going to make a decision as far as physically right away. The internal decision happens first, and then you get guided based on your decision. So the prayer is like, please help me. And then they go, we need you to understand that you have to make a decision to be done with this. And you say, okay, I'm done. Help guide me now. It's not like, okay, I'm done. I'm out of here, right? It may be that a strategy is put in place that feels really good. It releases your mind from worry, and you feel in such beautiful alignment that you're able to start exploring this fiery energy in a really positive way. Let's see what comes up ahead after all this pondering. Ooh, the weight. Yeah, okay, will do. Spirit, the Hanged Man energy. Give me grace. I would say stay in grace this whole time, group 3. Remember that. Yeah, stay in grace, yeah. Give yourself grace, because the Hanged Man energy is about taking a break and surrendering it over to spirit. So you make the decision and you're asking for the clarity and asking for the strategy up ahead. They're going to direct this. They will provide you with the time. When you get a Hanged Man energy, the Hanged Man puts themselves up on a tree of life in order to be able to listen appropriately to the next steps and where spirit wants them to go. So this directional energy, the minute you say, I'm ready for the new adventure, you have these 3, I have these 3 options or what have you. Spirit will show you the way with a Hanged Man ahead of you. But you've got to go, I surrender. So you're still showing up for whatever it is that you may be in, let's say, but you know inside of yourself that you are ready. You let go, you release, you go, I'm hanging upside down here until I know what I'm supposed to do next, what the next step is. And when you do that, you will get the clarity you need, for sure. I mean, with a King of Swords below you, Spirit will properly give you the insight at the exact right time, and at that point, you've got to come down and actually take that step to move forward. The only other thing that this could be that I want to say, just because for some of you, you know, you may decide and you have the means or whatever this, you know, energy is, if it's not like a job and you have to have one before you move out of one, right? Like if it's just like something to do with a relationship, let's say, that you're wanting to leave, this is about taking time to take a break from things. So you wouldn't want to jump right into something without waiting here after you make your decision. So there's a decision here that happens that frees you, and it happens within yourself. And then there's this break and this waiting and this surrendering that happens here. So again, we're not jumping into a brand new relationship. Let's say it's a job, but you have the ability to have some time off. You may want to take some time off. Or if you're entering a new job, you may want to have some layover where you have a break in between. That will be important here, they're telling you, so that you can realign yourself, that you can surrender over to spirit, and you can kind of like get back into a state where you feel in alignment, where you feel this energy, that dignity return to you, feel good again, especially if you've been going through something that's difficult and been pondering it for a while. Let's see what your final message is from your beautiful swan duo, is what I'm going to call it. The power of purpose. 9, 18, 9. There's your 9. Yeah, we have no other 9s. Obviously, this is about very intentional energy. What do you want? What is your purpose? Why are you in this right now if it's not serving you anymore? Especially, again, emotionally, making you feel bad. What do you want instead? Because worrying about it is not the goal. Your swan duo here, your coupling here, is saying, let's stop the worry. We're coming from spirit to help relieve those worries. What is your intention here? What do you truly desire? What target are we going for? What are we trying to reach? I said, let's work together. That's what I just heard. Let's work together. So really taking a moment to feel through and talk about what's working and what's not, and what you truly see for yourself. What is your targeted goal? What is your true desire? What is your approach? What is your intention? It's going to be important. This energy will be guiding you along. If you're just kind of like, I don't know what I want, I don't know what, you know, if you're doing that, then yeah, it's going to feel really worrisome. And Spirit's trying to help you out to clear some of that up, to help you to make the moves that you need to make and hit that bullseye eventually. So, and not to just hit it, right? But to hit it with wisdom and using your wisdom and light to hit it with that elegance and that grace and that dignity and that beauty. We're not just like nonchalantly shooting arrows. We're being very intentional about what it is that is our purpose, what our intention is, what our goal is, what we truly want. So allow that to kind of sink in as well, so you can get clarity there. This is about relieving your worries, relieving your stresses, allowing yourself to be free again, allowing yourself to feel fulfilled, allowing yourself to have a break, to feel more purposeful, and to be led in a way where you don't feel this low energy anymore, but instead dignity, beauty, grace, elegance. So make sure you're looking out for the double here, the double swans. They've been talking about it the entire time. 2 offerings, 2 paths, a coupling of some sort, a relationship of some sort, or just plainly seeing 2 swans. And know that you're being aided and you're being guided and you're being protected, and they're trying to help you out of any kind of worrisome energy where you're trying to make a decision or something that doesn't feel good and that you need to depart from or leave. Essentially, making a choice to move on. This is all aid for that. And yeah, everybody, yes, they're like all hands on deck here. Talk to them about your intention. Talk to them about what it is that you want. Your prayer will be answered. So I hope that this serves you, group number 3. It was my pleasure to do this reading for you today. If something resonated with you in this reading, feel free to give this video a like or subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed. If you know someone who might want to pull their guidance from the swan spirit animal as well, you can share this video with them. And if you feel something is coming up for you that you really want to share, feel free to leave me a comment down below. If you're interested in finding out more about spirit animals and having a list to reference when you see them popping up in your life, I do have a Spirit Animals Handbook listed in the description down below for you. Once again, my pleasure to do this reading for you. I feel like you are being aided to be lifted here into the very capable hands of your swan duo, your swan spirit animal duo, and your spirit team with purpose. So again, I hope this serves you, and I'll see you in the next reading.